Well, howdy there, folks. This is Great Scots, and this is the beginning of episode 1 here of the Spring 1861 USA campaign. You can see we have the difficulty set to very hard, and I'm taking what I believe are probably the 3 worst policies the Union can take. This should further tip the balance in favor of the CSA. Excuse me. We'll see. Underground Railroad. This is the last one I chose. I think the first 2 are pretty easy. Indian Wars is, I think, easily probably the worst policy in the game, probably on both sides, because it gives this. It does 2 things. It gives both the Union and the CSA +5 military experience. So, you know, net, it doesn't really put the USA further ahead, and maybe except in some obscure way I haven't thought of. And what we do get, we're basically getting Union morale +5, which, all right, fine, but that's a policy, or I get, yeah, these are called policies, and then there's the policies in game 2, but whatever. This is one of the 3 overarching ones. I mean, there are other things I could do, right? Perfect world, I'm taking industrialization, probably taking breadbasket, then maybe Kansas or security measures. But anyways, we're talking about the ones I'm not taking. The Neutrality Act, again, I mean, there's fluff. It says it prevents adventurers and filibusters from... Alright, but what does it actually do? It greatly improves European... Well, it doesn't. It just reduces the chance of European intervention, which I don't think I've ever had trigger in all the campaigns I've played. And I need it for diplomacy levels 4 and 5, and I almost never do diplomacy because I kind of rather rely on our own internal machinations. And then, kind of like, what was the worst? And I thought Underground Railroad... Because in the end, it doesn't hit the CSA at the beginning when they're perhaps at their weakest. Maybe they're not, but it's a kind of slow grind of losing part of the reduction. Or it's reducing the part of their workforce. So, you know, compared to what else I could have done, you know, Kansas Free State's a good one. Go West, that seems like an okay one. Abolitionism, which is basically +10 support by reducing Southern support in all states in the Union. It's actually quite a good one, because I think it would apply in Kentucky as well, which you want to try to hold on to. And if you don't have Kansas as a free state like I do now, it would help ensure that you would. So, not a bad policy by any means. Union Pacific Railroad, it's like all right. I think it's kind of I think it's just all right. In security measures, it's probably the one I like the least. That I haven't chosen here. I think a lot of people rave about it because, you know, it makes the CSA situation all that more desperate in the beginning. And then after that, it just reduces the morale by 5, but we'll let battles do that. Anyways, I'm going to start the campaign, and I'm not going to keep you in for the initial setup, but if and when we get to war and we get to some actual battles, maybe we'll have a chance to bring you in for the first battle. But this is there was a patch that was just released earlier today. It's the dev patch 0.950, I think 2, and I think the last campaign started on 0.92x. I don't know, whatever. But so we are a bit forward, and we'll see. Yeah, we don't need to see all this. We'll see how it runs. Well, it didn't take too long. We'll see how it goes this time around, but I didn't really start before. I'm just saying how well it goes in this campaign. But we do have our first battle. You see I've thrown the Army of Northeastern Virginia at the Army of the Potomac. Department of Pennsylvania is moving somewhat slower. They were trying to get the Army of the Shenandoah to try to hold them in place, but the reaction time was not there fast enough. And so we're going to have this battle here, and we got about a 2-to-1 advantage in infantry and about a 3-to-1 in artillery. Overall numbers are small. The problem is that both sides are pretty green here, and so I think it's going to be something of a defender's advantage. Kind of sit back, construct entrenchments, and do what they can, but we do have some artillery that might be able to knock them out of those. And we do have numbers, and since we are attacking we kind of get to choose when that happens. So let's see. We get to be on the Bull Run map, which is nice while we get to be on it. We're not constantly stuck in the... I can't quite see. Okay, there's McDowell. And, this position, it's not terrible. It's not terribly great either. It could allow me to go through Sudley Springs, which I always try to avoid. If I can work in on this peninsula, though, I'll take a look and see where the arty finishes up. Now, I don't know if these engineering points are accurate and scaled to the way they were in previous versions, where we got a lot, but we kind of burned through them quickly. I guess we'll have to see. And we can do a little bit of setup. If we can get across, I guess this is a ford. Was this Poplar Ford? If we can get across that and set up in here, okay, we'll see where we go from there. Matthews Hill is a concern, but not a huge one. And Stonebridge, it's probably going to be better to cross here than there. So that's what it's looking like. Once we get underway and get in there, I'll bring you back in. Right there, folks. I figured I'd bring you back in. The battle has gone on for a little while, and talk a little bit about the kind of what I saw at the beginning. This is where the CSA deployed, and I think overall they need to get like an A- or an A in terms of deployment. I mean, they use their engineering points to construct barricades. All right, they could have used parapets as well and thrown up some additional fortifications. Right, they don't have enough. They don't need all this down here. And if you're going to put some of this behind parapet, then you don't need the extra barricades. But whatever. They deployed far back, up on high ground, and they have a relatively open field and a field below them, in front of them. We start out with minor victory. We're now down to minor defeat. It has to do with the victory points, and I'm just not sending anybody around. I guess I could send Palmer's cavalry around to go ahead and gobble those up. But I kind of assume that I'm going to have to rely on the battle to do that, and I'm not going to be able to rely on victory points. That rarely, if ever, has actually dictated the outcome of a fight that I can recall. So that's going on. Oh, and so since they held this position, I thought, well, if I march everyone up, there's a good chance we're just going to get massacred as we come in. Now, they've been very quiet. They have not thrown out skirmishers. I don't even know if they've fired their artillery more than 3 times. So I moved half my force in here. We gradually built up barricades and advanced. We built up more barricades and advanced. Over here, this group, no barricades. They just swung around this left side. I guess, in retrospect, I could have also gone over this little ford here. But whatever, we went down, we took the stone bridge, and now we're coming up on their flank and behind some of those fortifications. Now it's 5 in the afternoon in the middle of April. And so even in Manassas Junction in Virginia, I suspect things are going to go quiet here pretty quickly. I've tried to update most of these HQ locations to keep them pretty close to their men and also to McDowell, the overall commander. And it's probably actually time to just get McDowell over here. But anyways, that's how things are stacking up. I don't mind pressing the attack early. Again, we do have parapets to fall back, or breastworks to fall back to if the attack does not work out. But I suspect we'll have bigger problems at that point. This 24-pound howitzer has teed off a few times, but I'm pretty sure I checked a few minutes ago there were no casualties. All right, it's done 10 casualties, so it's done something, but it's not done a whole lot. This 12-pound howitzer over here is getting in position. You can see another reason not to attack right now is that roughly half the infantry in this flanking group is just not ready to go. They're too tired. Send them in tired. You always risk, I think, their morale, and they might break. I don't want that. And there's again, because there's no skirmishers or reinforcements coming. Well, no skirmishers, different story. I'm not really on the clock to knock them out of this position. If they were to have done anything better, in addition to maybe giving themselves parapets here, maybe have a unit of infantry or so contesting the stone bridge. Again, it's asking a lot of the AI, but I just threw out 3 groups of skirmishers crossed in advance, and then I sent the rest of this force up behind them, and they got over uncontested. Really, fatigue has been the only issue, and these are new troops, and they've basically been marching in most cases most of the day for that group. This other group has been constructing, and that seems to fatigue them far less. So, yeah, I'm going to wait until their fatigue goes away. These guys have been fatigued for a while. Actually, most of the map. But yeah, if I can get this arty out here, maybe circle some of the skirmishers just around a little bit. Move these skirmishers down here. We have most of this flank and their rear locked down, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure why these guys are not getting a cover bonus from being in contact with the fence. It clearly says that they aren't, but why they aren't is not clear. I'll try moving them out and see if that has any effect. It may also be because there's a portion of this breastwork that's not completed, and so that might be why. If they were in a kind of shootout with the other artillery, I'd be more concerned. All right, if these guys are going to do this, and we're going to move on over there. It's end of day. We can't quite get them. Let's see. All right, what are we getting for deployments here? Where's my blue circle? All right, so everybody in there is fine. So, since that's the case, now I want parapets. I want parapets for my 2 batteries. I'm happy to upgrade those. Just stick the batteries in there. And we're going to reorient our forces. So I think these guys need to be brought back. Be brought over. Brought up. Pretty happy with those guys being there. These guys can be there. That's right, they won't move. These guys should be brought back inside the circle. Again, in the past, I've had skirmisher units rout or break or disappear or go back to spawn. All sorts of funky things have happened when I don't take care of them. So, oh, we have basically no engineering points left. So there's that. What are these guys? These guys are the detachment, so we'll put them up. Those guys are in cover. That's all right. More skirmishers. All right, and we can go ahead and start. And yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of, that they're just going to move. And they did. So they moved all the way up. So now I got to go chase them up to Matthews Hill and see what happens to him. So it's just going to be a grind at this point. I'll go ahead and take it back off. I actually got to hop out of this anyways in real life for others, so I'm not sure this is actually going to be one that I end up posting. We'll see. All right, we're on the move here. Kind of. Some of our skirmishers up, waiting for the others. I sent both my artillery units over here, so this way I'm remembering what I said in a recent video about trying to keep the artillery along the roads, because I mean they're not the only ones, but they really do slow down quite a bit when they're not on those roads. But yeah, we've taken Matthews Hill. I sent Schenk over there to go ahead and grab Henry Hill because the victory points are kind of playing against us. It's not something I really ever care about, but I can see it as a path to defeat. And yeah, the rest of this infantry is moving around. Okay, we'll move them up there. But we are going to eventually get our arty in place as well. And maybe rather than just suffering pot shots, we'll advance some of these skirmishers up on that artillery flank, make their infantry come around to us, or we'll just get their arty for free. Let's see here. Okay, they have skirmishers out as well. Okay, McDowell, what are you waiting for, man? Oh, this is the detachment. I thought I was missing one. Okay, they're moving up, and I think we'll push McDowell up as well. Yeah, these guys seem to be pretty happy in their spot. Maybe we'll move them up closer. Again, I think the way the game is supposed to work is that artillery, when it's this green, is not supposed to be terribly effective. I mean, nobody's supposed to be terribly effective, but the artillery apparently is really ineffective without experience. So we'll see if that holds. All right, we'll have these guys try to get embedded in that creek. I'll post these guys up on that fence. All right, they're going to move right up on that arty. We're going to do the same. These guys are probably going to run into enemy infantry, but oh well. They're all moving up. We'll get this cavalry up and around. All right. Thought there was a fence up here, but I guess there isn't. Oh, I missed a detachment there. There is a fence here, though. See if we're able to use it. Oh, no. These guys are doing that weird thing where they get pressed and they retreat at a very odd angle. I think to make it a little easier, we're just going to call them back. They're moving. Keys' detachment. It sounds like somebody's in melee or thinks they're in melee. I don't know. This will recall them as well. We'll have these skirmishers shoot into their flank. Okay, they're moving up and over there. They don't need to. If Hampton's Legion is trying to melee these guys, they should be exhausted. Yep. Well, very tired, at least very soon, and that was almost right on cue. Alright, so those skirmishers, no surprise, got rid of their artillery. They're now getting pressed correctly by Ewell's brigade, as it happens to be. Uh-oh. I momentarily tabbed out. Alright. These guys, I think, should just stop. Gotta get their commander up anyways. Yeah, we'll have them pursue them. Okay, you need to face that way. Sherman... Yeah, it's your brigade. And I think we have you recalling your skirmishers. I don't know why they're clicked on lay down, but... Okay, so they're an actual brigade. Stick them up there. We'll have them go around. Alright, we got some artillery up. Now, cavalry have... That's right, they have to deal with those stupid fences that they cannot get around. Which I guess makes sense. We'll put them that way, I guess. Alright, these guys are moving too slow. I'd like to bring them back to help out Sherman if possible. Those guys move up, and I want these guys pursuing them. Yeah, if they're just going to hold this... Poor Jones. Poor Jones. Actually, stop. You do want to have skirmishers. Yeah. And they broke them. I think that was like the second volley from Sherman and company. Yeah, that was a huge help. We'll get these guys oriented this way. Enemy is retreating. That's great. Big old long timer though, so don't want to take anything for granted. Alright, we'll have them move around. Alright, we'll have these guys... I don't even know if I feel like going after. I mean, they're on a fence. We've been fighting, they haven't. Probably well rested. And we got their one battery. Don't think we got this brigade yet, though. No, we didn't. Okay. New skirmishers. We'll have them over there. And I guess we'll skirmish with them, but nothing more, really. Okay, their skirmishers were routed, unfortunately. What are you still doing back here, man? Get up there. Forgot all about this brigade. They look like they're pulling back, because they are. Have that cav probably go right into that gap. Cav go up there. Have them go there. And then we go there. Guess they can no longer... Oh, they can fire. I think they can. Okay, so we broke them. Let's see. Who can give me skirmishers? You could. I don't know why you won't, but you could. You are skirmishers, so why not? Huh. I really don't know why I can't get skirmishers from them. But anyways, I don't think they're going to be in a position to do much before this all ends anyways, so... Hardly the end of the world. Five ticks left on the timer, and that'll be all she wrote. Oops. I think I ran those guys in a little too close. Maybe we'll take that as a warning. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely good for us. 4-1 casualties, and first battle of the war. Other than this, what happened off screen, strengthened Harney's army out in St. Louis so that maybe we could hold. We have lost Missouri, started with it, lost, but we're doing okay in Kentucky. Our approval is actually kind of going up there, and we're at 62%. So that's where things stand. We have Kansas, and it's like 70% support, so we didn't have to waste a policy to take it, and we got it anyways. So that's that. I don't know that if I mentioned it, but I guess it'll be the closing point here. I thought I was supposed to. Okay. Which is that while I chose the worst policies I could, I think I did talk about this. The random policies that came up was Arms Agent, which is great early on. Industrialization is great later on. And Old Dominion is okay. So they did very well. It should be a good challenge. We're making our way through the Militia Act. We still have 20 days left on that. This is the battle that just happened. The Army of the Shenandoah is over here with actually 2,200 men. Apparently 27 guns. We'll see if it's that bad. If it is, it's certainly a reason to be concerned. But we do have Patterson's Department of Pennsylvania coming in behind them. We might have stopped capping Alexandria because we moved so far through it. I don't really care too much about that. I've recruited some troops, but again, I don't want to go crazy because it's only 3 months, so 90-day contracts. And it appears that there's no longer a policy that allows you to roll over earlier contracts. I wouldn't have gotten this quickly anyway, so it doesn't matter. But for those who have 12-month contracts extending them to 36, it doesn't look like it's possible. So, yeah, here's McClellan. I think his destination was always Cincinnati, so he's there. His army's gonna more than double. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Anyways, that's episode 1 And this is, again, Harding's force will get much larger eventually, might be able to rival Price's and at least hold out here in St. Louis. So that would all be good. This has been episode 1 of the 1861 Spring USA campaign. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to have you back for the next one.